So how many of you guys have ever broken up with someone and then after a while you start missing them because you think of all the good times and everything that you guys had together? Well, today I agree with this quote that I got. It says, "Victory has 100 memories, but defeat has amnesia." So I'm gonna start with how you feel at the beginning of the breakup to like years later. So personally, I broke up with my boyfriend like I think a year ago, like my ex-boyfriend a year ago, and like at the beginning, I hated him because of what he did, and I remembered all the bad times and stuff, but months went by, and that's when you start thinking about, oh, like, remember when he did this to me, remember when he brought flowers, remember when he asked you to go out here and go out there, and you start remembering all the good times, and then you start forgetting everything bad that he did. Personally, like, I would write down like all the good things and to see what would outweigh the bad things, but I couldn't remember at the time the bad things because I was just thinking of all the good times. Like within the 3 years all the things that we did together and stuff, and then I would talk to my friends and stuff, and it'd be like, but he did this, he did that, he did the other, and I'd be like, I don't remember that, I don't. And then, but once you start like thinking about it and stuff, you do remember it, but you don't want to. So it becomes your amnesia, your blind spot, it's just something you just don't want to ever think about again. You just want to remember all the good things because you miss them. And people always say, don't think about the good times because the good times don't last forever. But when you break up with someone, the good times always last forever. And like I never wanted to remember that I was the one who was in defeat, in denial, in like a bad time. But as time has passed and stuff, I have a new boyfriend now. And he's the best thing that I could ever ask for. And I don't even think about all the bad things, all the good things and the bad things that ever happened with my ex-boyfriend, because if you do think about all of that, you're just gonna compare and compare and compare, and that's not something you need in your life. And so I agree with the quote that victory has 100 memories, and that defeat has amnesia, but I disagree with it because at the end of the day, you need to remember the defeat in you, because without defeat, there is no victory.
You have more time. You have more time. One more time.
Yeah.
Do you think my nephew would like this? Did her clap? You want to go?
I had 4 minutes. I had just like 4 minutes.
Yeah, you're really good at talking a lot. So it sounded like what you said.
I know, but it was pretty much like if I had it in my hand, I would just close your eyes. You know what I mean?
There's nothing to think about.
All right, Esme, several things. Let's start with several things that I think are pretty solid. Your voice projects nicely. You sound animated the whole time you're speaking. There's good variety in your voice while you're talking to us. I liked some of the indicators and gestures that you had. Occasionally you go a little bit to your neck, kind of adjusting this thing repeatedly. That's the only thing that I would think is anxiety-based, and it's not that noticeable. Sometimes your eye contact, when you get stuck for an idea, you kind of internalize a little bit and you disengage, you look down a little, that sort of thing. But usually you're pretty solid talking to the audience. Your facial expressions are excellent. They're very animated. You've got, I mean, we can tell how you feel about something, and you are engaging when you're doing those sorts of things. So I think that's all really solid. I liked your opening, your attention device. I thought worked really well, and they had a very nice transition to what your topic was. But I have no idea what you're saying about that topic. I have no idea where you're going to go with this. There's not really any plan or structure that I can tell. So I think that that's problematic. You do luck out because you've got a topic that you're able to think of a few things to mention and provide enough detail to give you something substantive to discuss. But sometimes the details run out. You don't. Maybe you're shy. Maybe you don't want to tell us all the rotten things that your boyfriend did that made you feel this way. And I understand that. But like I said, it doesn't really seem like you have a plan. It just seems like I'm going to go that direction and follow wherever it happens to take me. And I think you want to be more in control of the ideas that you're going to be talking about, so you need a lot more structure there. At the end of the speech, it sounds like you're trying to come up with a purpose statement from the quote that you had and everything that you talked about, and I thought that that's a good way to end, and then of course you put it on the tag ending, and that's it. And that's, you know, the Porky Pig exit that we don't really want to have. So I think that undermines the exit a little bit. So most of the delivery things I think are pretty solid. Structural stuff, there's some issues with. It's not so much that you didn't find interesting things to talk about, but you need to tell us why you picked those things to talk about and how, because it turns out that it's all, you know, everything, you know, it's all going to be about breaking up. And there's not going to be any application other than to the breaking up thing, which is great. Then why don't you, organize it around the phases of breaking up? When you first break up, 6 months later, when I've got a new boyfriend, something like that. And then you can plug those things. And then it all fit together very easily. You'd talk about the same things, but it would sound like you had a plan going into it rather than you're just winging it. All right, thank you.